This brain is capable of tremendous feats, but most of them will not be sustainable until the physical form is more highly evolved. There is a potential powerhouse in each human, but what good would it do to release the power if the form cannot sustain it? Slow, steady strides forward is the way spiritual growth must be when in the earth plane cycle. It cannot move any faster than the physical form can evolve. This is our limitation. This also is the reason the classroom lessons on planet Earth were set up as they are, because of the physical form. This is the whole idea of the Earth plane schooling system. It is to learn mastery of the physical form and to evolve it to where it is totally usable for all that the soul can apply to it. This is the goal. It will take generations. It has taken generations to bring it to this point, and will take generations to carry it further. Miracles cannot take place until the physical form has evolved to the point where it is buoyant enough to walk on water. The quicker the animal-based brain can evolve and control the body, the quicker all this will happen. This is definitely the starting point, the control of the physical body through the physical brain. This is a matter of evolution, and ongoing experiments will speed this up. This experimentation being done now is the penetration of the human brain with new genes without going through the birthing process. This is what is taking place at this particular time on our particular planet. It is pervasion, which is the pervasion of the human brain by genes of the higher planets to help this control over the physical form be gained in a faster way than normal evolution would allow it to take place. The experiments are ongoing. The higher genes penetrate the brain to allow the physical form to come under control of that brain. This then allows the soul to use that brain, which then progresses the evolution of that particular entity. At this present time, this is the path of progress on the earth plane. It may not be in the future, as we move past the need of penetrating the brain with new genes. As the physical form catches up and contains the ability to bring these new genes through in the birth process, there will be a backing off of the penetration as is being done at the present time. There is much yet to be learned about the human brain and its capabilities. All changing and growth that has been done up till now has been built on top of the animal instinct of survival, leading to competition. This must be remembered and worked with, and in everything having to do with the human brain. We can know what this brain is capable of because we know the expansion capacity built into it. It has the same outlines or borders or limits that the large universe has. These borders are non-existent in the large universe, therefore they are non-existent in the human universe of the brain. I want to elaborate on the process that takes place in the brain to reach these upper levels, and also what must occur to sustain them. The brain is a computer, remember, and a computer works in multiples of anything. Because I'm a musician, I will use a musical performance as a comparison to help with understanding. The first stage of brain power is simply the ability to focus on one thing while performing an unrelated task. This is an experience that should be practiced by all. A simple one to begin with, that most everyone can do, will serve as an example. This is simply to eat and read a book at the same time and do a good job of both. This is a very simple demonstration and, of course, needs to be expanded from there. This was simply to give an idea of what I meant. The study of a musical instrument that necessitates the use and coordination of both the hands and the eyes at the same time is good. Any task or art or sport that uses eye-hand coordination is a good starting point. It progresses beyond this stage into that of incorporating one's emotions into the same task or occupation. This would be the use of the soul, the emotional body, with the physical body. When these two are able to cooperate in unison in a flowing, blended performance, then the higher levels of the mind can start to be ascended. By this time, you are entering the fourth level. You can sustain this fourth level by being able to continue the performance of the physical and emotional bodies combined, and at the same time think of something entirely different. In the case of a concert artist performing, he would be able to concentrate on the effect his performance was having on his audience and acting as the director of the performance while still performing. If he doesn't think the emotional impact of the piece is reaching those listening, he can demand more effort, more involvement of the soul, the emotional body. If he feels the tempo is dragging, he orders the physical body, the fingers, to pick up the speed with which they are moving. The mental body is truly the director of the other two bodies, but his job can go higher. He can take that performance out of the realm of the ordinary by moving up to the fifth level and listening to it as though from a distance. In the first section of the brain, the physical body realm, level 1 is the part of the brain keeping our body alive and breathing. Level 2 is the physical movements of the individual parts. Level 3 is coordinating all that physical movement plus the mental thought that is controlling the memory of the notes or the eye-hand coordination if reading the music. In the second section of the brain, the emotional body realm, level 4 lets all that go on while pulling it all together into an integrated performance so smooth and beautiful that it affects the emotional body of those listening. The fifth level takes it out of the realm of the ordinary and lets it become part of the universe. This is the level that touches or senses the harmony of the energy waves and automatically pulls the performance into perfect balance with the universe. Level 6 would allow all this to continue and would allow the performer to be able at the same time to wonder what he was going to have for dinner that evening. Does this surprise you? It is an ability to split off another part of the mind totally onto another subject. If one had more hands, he would be able to perform a totally different song on a totally different instrument at the same time. In the third section of the brain, the mental body realm, level 7 would give the ability to keep the performance going and give a lecture on another subject at the same time. It's like stacking one block on top of another, adding another dimension to the previous level. Level 8 would be keeping the performance and lecture going and to be receiving information from higher realms at the same time. Level 9 continues all this with the entity able to leave that body doing all that and go somewhere else. In the fourth section of the brain, the spiritual body realm, level 10 would continue all this and allow this one to be able to return with something of a physical nature brought back with him in the form of a flower or leaf or a rain cloud or what have you. You see, we still have 2 levels to go. Of these 2 levels, 11 would enable the physical body to rise above the stage of performance while the performance was continuing, and level 12 would allow for flight in the physical body to take place, but only a short distance to be able to keep the performance going. If not interested in continuing what you were doing, you would be able to fly in your physical body anywhere you wanted. Yes, in other words, fly through the air with no means of propulsion except your mind. People may make jokes about being a bird brain, but birds operate on this level of energy waves when flying. They are capable of only 2 levels, and this level is second nature to them. The other level is just under that level and allows for balance on those 2 spindly legs, so they can walk on the ground. Walking on the ground is harder for them than flying. The human mind has 12 different levels of functions, different energy wave rates, and of these, only 3 are being used by most people. This is why it is said that we are only using 15 to 20%, maybe even 25% of our brains. The first level is just human survival instinct. The second is our sleep state. The third is the use of our everyday mind, thinking and reasoning. The fourth level is a higher mind. The fifth level will take humanity one step further in the next dimension. The fourth level is prerequisite for the fourth dimension. The fifth level for the fifth dimension, and so on. It is a natural progression of evolution. If these higher areas could be reached at this time, many mind power feats could be accomplished. There are some people capable of reaching these higher levels for short periods of time, but the energy drain is so great that they cannot be sustained for too long a time. Those accomplished in martial arts know that it is an instantaneous spurt of power that cannot as yet be sustained past the length of time to accomplish a blow, and they also know of the feeling of tiredness that hits afterwards. Olympic athletes experience the same after effects because they are performing on the fourth level at all times with spurts of the fifth, and in some, even the sixth level comes in for milliseconds. The performances of concert artists are in the same category, only on the fifth and sixth levels at all times. These are all in the second section of our 4-part brain, the lower right, which is the realm of the emotional body. A genius in any field is working totally on the 7th level of the mind, which is the 3rd section, the upper left, the realm of the mental body. If one can be taught to enter these levels, then one could perform skills and talents that they are unaware they possess. They can do this just by having a suggestion made to them that they have mastered this accomplishment and can perform it. They can even give themselves a suggestion after they are trained to reach these levels. This perhaps would be considered a form of self-hypnosis as we think of it, but it truly is a natural state that people are capable of achieving, but it won't be reached without trying. There must be much effort and study and practice put into this feat of reaching these levels of the mind. They are all conscious levels wherein physical acts can be performed. Even the natural, normal sleep level does not stop some people from walking around. Fear will catapult people into the same level as martial arts performances take, and enable them to do things they couldn't do otherwise, such as lift a car off someone it has fallen on. I'm sure you have heard of other examples. The creative level for most people is the everyday 3rd level. They are expressing feelings, and this serves a very useful purpose. But if they could, and some do, step it up a level, then the creative pursuit would begin to have meaning for others. Stepping it up to the 7th level, genius level, then would create masterpieces of art or literature or music. The use of acupuncture helps attain the higher levels, but of course the needles cannot be left in the body, so these levels cannot be sustained, the same way reaching those levels in martial arts cannot be sustained. The levels being reached in this way will never be able to be sustained. On the other hand, those reaching those levels through the area of the arts will be able to be sustained for much longer periods of time. One area is dealing with the physical body, and the other is dealing with the emotional body, which is where the soul is found. This is why an artistic, creative activity is vital to all. It is as necessary to the soul as food is to the physical body. Yes, the higher mental levels should be used and will be used and can be used, not only in future, but at the present time. For instance, even now they could be used for the birth of a child. These higher levels can be attained and sustained by acupuncture for periods long enough for the birth process to be completed. How much safer and healthier this is for all concerned. In the future, the use of mind power will be used to cure all diseases, injuries, or surgical procedures, as well as childbirth.